All right, so I was just reviewing the fast track course, the first part. I thought I had hit all of the major bullet points that I wanted to cover, but I recognize there's a few major opportunities for individuals who don't have these strategies implemented. They kind of slipped my mind as far as expressing them, so I'm going to include them here as a follow-up to the first video. These are additional revenue streams. So when you're building your store and you're scaling up, you're going to eventually hit a point where you have all of your ads dialed in, you have all of your marketing pretty much dialed in, you're pretty consistent with your seasonal traffic as far as driving conversions, you have a lot of the on-page stuff organized, your email marketing is all sorted, and you're looking for additional ways, how do I scale? Right? One way is by continuing to add new products, right? So always be looking for new suppliers, always be onboarding new products. I'm going to add a little side note in here referencing pre-orders and back orders. So when you're working with suppliers and I didn't plan to describe this, but I think it's important. So we deal with a lot of pre-orders and back orders in this industry. What I'd recommend is accepting pre-orders and back orders and then prepaying them with the supplier if possible. So then the order's on the books. But I'll get into that more privately in our call if you need help with that. But one thing I'd recommend, even better than pre-orders, is finding and sourcing new manufacturers that have comparable products. So for example, if I have a manufacturer and I know this item's out of stock, it's not going to be in stock for a few months, and I have, let's say, 20 orders or 10 orders or even a handful, and I'm worried these guys may or may not cancel. What I'll do is I know the item will be delayed, I'll look for other suppliers that sell a comparable product, I'll onboard them, and then I'll tell the customer, hey, the item's delayed, we also have this other product which is very similar, perhaps some more bells and whistles, an upgraded version, but it is in stock and ready to ship immediately. So instead of being frustrated or having an issue with back orders or pre-orders being pushed back, what I would do is accept those orders and then work, if they get delayed, work out comparable products that you could upsell or downsell to the customer. That way you can still keep that sale on file. I recommend this process. Also, when the customer places the order, just a little side note, we always want to make sure we're only authorizing the card and then we're capturing when we ship. Or when we're about to ship, or 2 days, a day or two before we pay. But either way, we're confirming the pre-order date with the customer via email or phone prior to capturing the payment and then processing with the manufacturer. And we want it in writing, if possible. So we email the customer, hey, this item's gonna be arriving 30 days later. Please respond to this email so we can put your order on file and get it processed. And then, if they don't respond within a day or two, then I'll call them. Hey, just confirming this item. Could you respond to the email? And they respond, then I have it on file. They agree to those shipping dates. And then if they want to cancel, then they have to pay a restocking fee or a cancellation fee for the order. So I have it on file. That's a technique I can do to prevent cancellations for pre-orders and back orders. But what I found by far to be the most effective strategy is finding comparable products if I know that an item is going to be out of stock or pushed back further. So always look for that. This was a mistake that cost me almost $100,000. I don't talk about it too frequently. The first year of doing business, I did something like $300,000 of one SKU, one particular product. And then it was back ordered. It was a summer product, and it ended up being back ordered until the end of the summer. It was like September. I didn't know what to do at the time. I ended up canceling about half those orders. And later I realized, you have to find comparable products and then recommend to the customer, and you end up saving somewhere between 50 to 80% of those sales. A lot of people just want that type of product. They may not be so clear on that particular vendor or whatnot, as long as it's quite similar. So huge tip there. I wanted to make sure I included that because it's just something that really served me well. And it's one of those things where, hey, I've been there, don't make that mistake. If you take pre-orders, if that's in your business model, Make sure you're also identifying comparable products if you start to stack up a lot of pre-orders for one particular SKU. Now, moving on, a few other things that I wanted to highlight. So let's say all those things are dialed in, you have all the other stuff we talked about above that's already dialed in. Okay, where do I go from here? How do I scale upwards of 5 million, 6 million, 7 million plus, right? Here are some additional revenue streams which can add some percentage to your bottom line. Offering warranties or extended warranties. So when someone makes a purchase on your store, there's different apps which will offer a warranty to the customer. So they'll pay additional 30, 40 bucks or whatever it is, depending on the pricing, and they get a warranty to cover that product based on extending their original warranty for the manufacturer. So this particular process, you can add a margin to the warranty. So they already pay you out a commission for the warranty, but you also can add a margin. So companies like Route, I use CPS, these are two different companies which you can add an extended warranty to your products, and then this will allow you to add an additional revenue stream on top of your current existing business, just in the warranty. Second is white glove delivery. So this one's a little more tricky because it's based on the geographical location, but I found there's some companies like in major cities that will do white glove delivery. So you can partner with some white glove delivery service companies, and same thing. They can set up your product. If it's a big one, I mean, a commercial stove, that's like huge, multi-thousand-pound item, right? I'm guessing. They're big. They're made of steel for sure. So these big products, they can, sometimes you don't want to leave it at the curb. You want it to be brought inside, you want it to be set up nicely, and you can just walk in and start using it. Remember, we're thinking about people who have a high disposable income and they value time. So white glove delivery, or bringing the unit in, bringing the product into the house, setting it up where they want, that sort of service can be really beneficial for some clients. So then you think, okay, where do I implement this? So what I recommend using is what I call a post-purchase upsell. So in that one app, the same one that I recommended above, there's a opt-in for post-purchase upsell. What this will do is after the customer checks out, you can put an additional pop-up that will show and promote either your free gift, or if they want to buy, for mine I tested the free gift, or you can promote your warranty program, your white glove service, or you can promote just any products that are top sellers that you want to just promote. But it's after they check out, so it's not going to affect your already existing customer base. This is just an additional thing that pops up after they finish the checkout. If you're not sure how to set that up, it's in Shopify N1. It's a really interesting feature. A lot of people don't use this functionality. I've seen that it converts quite well. As far as the warranty and route, what they also do is they can be added to the checkout, not the checkout page, I think to the cart page. You have to look with them and see how they integrate with your system. But either way, those programs, you could also offer them as a post-purchase upsell, and they email out automatically the offer after the purchase. So they get their confirmation purchase. They also get kind of a solicitation for the CPS, the warranty service. So they can buy that after. So you can upsell some other product after the purchase, and then also email out a warranty offer after the purchase as well. So what I wanted to highlight here is these are additional kind of sneaky revenue streams which you can add margins or that can increase your sales kind of at a more advanced level, right? Lastly, I use this anecdote about insurance. So what is insurance, right? So usually people would think about like shipping insurance, right? Which is another thing you could do. Using Unishippers is who I use for my shipping company. And also there are some other freight options available as well. This is not highlighting shipping right now. I'm talking about insurance. So in my industry, one of my industries, it's the products that the customers purchase, they use them for commercial use. So they're something they rent out and then people will use them. So in that industry, it's required to have insurance for the liability for that business. Now what I did is I went out and I found companies that offer insurance for these products, and I partnered with them and I sent out their offer to my email list. Now, this is a highly targeted offer, but it's also thinking outside the box, right? If there's things that you know about your market and you can, for example, insurance, then you can use those and use them in your email marketing and connect with your clients and also form an additional revenue stream. You do your due diligence, you make sure they're a good, mainstay in the market, and you can form these partnerships and these bonds. Really, really powerful. Look for opportunities like that to partner, because you have a list of people in your industry which those companies are looking for. Does it make sense? So if you have something like that in your industry, do it. It's definitely a huge, powerful tool. Next, so if you've done all of the above and you're still looking for ways to generate more revenue, don't worry, I got you. Third-party applications, right? So if you look at stores like Walmart.com, BJ's.com, Target.com, Home Depot, and so forth, all the way to eBay and Amazon, these are all third-party marketplaces. So you can, as a vendor, go in there and put your products on their site. I think Etsy should also be on here as well. So you can put your products on these stores, right? And when you sell on these stores, you get a whole different market of people who only shop at Walmart.com, for example. Maybe they have a Walmart credit card. Maybe they have a gift cards for Walmart.com. Could be 1,000 reasons. But when you list your products in these third-party marketplaces, it gives you access to an entire new business. I've seen people double or triple their revenue just by implementing one of these third-party apps. So if you go into Shopify and look, even under sales channels, there's a marketplace apps which allows you to connect some of the big names, like Walmart.com and a few other ones. So if you're not in these, get in them. Now, they take a little while to set up, especially if you have a big product catalog. If you're looking at a few thousand products, you might have to update your UPC codes if they're not updated. You might, there's some there's some setup involved with each of these. You have to take each one as an individual entity and focus on optimizing it to the fullest. But it's crazy. I've seen people sell their products on their store through the PLAs, and they put them on Walmart.com, and they sell for more margin than on the PLAs. Now, these vendors, a few things to notice. They all pay out differently, right? Some of them might take upwards of 15, 20% as their commission. They might also do net, like Walmart, for example, does like net payout. So they pay you out 30 days after, or 15 days after the order, I believe. So there are problems, right? So you have to make sure that it fits into your model, and you have to work through those. But if you're able to set them up and become big in these, I've seen situations where, for example, their Walmart.com store is almost as big as their Shopify store, just because there's so much volume of people purchasing on Walmart.com. But you have to organize, I'm prepaying orders, do I have the funds available, can I wait 14 days, is their commission is so high, I have to raise my prices, so there's all these things to consider. Some people will also put like an abbreviated version of their product catalog in there. Either way, if you've done all the other things on page and you're just kind of you're growing, month over month, and you're trying to look for like new big wins, and like now you're like quote unquote focused on SEO, which seems to be the trend these days. Like, oh, we're just trying to build up our SEO. It's like, hey, what does that mean exactly? Like, is it really driving you revenue? So like I just hear that a lot as kind of the trending thing right now. So what I'd recommend is this is a huge opportunity for you to expand. So what I've found, now people might say, okay, you're reselling these products, you're not the manufacturer, are you able to sell on all these brands? What I've found is these top ones, Walmart, BJ's, Target, Etsy, Home Depot, Wayfair, Lowe's, Costco, eBay, most vendors don't seem to mind. They're not really big, a lot of vendors are not even marketing on there. They don't even have stores, and if they do, they're not heavily promoting them. So they tend to really not be bothered if you're reselling their products. I would not necessarily discuss it with the manufacturers. You just kind of run it on the back end on your own, because sometimes they might have their stores, they might feel like you're competing. Keep that in mind. But generally speaking, I've had no issues, zero, literally, with any manufacturer on all of those stores. Amazon is a different story. Typically, they're going to be really strict about their Amazon account. They don't want other people selling their products with another account on Amazon. So typically, I would shy away from Amazon unless there's some specific reason why you think it would work. Like, there could be these random cases. I don't want to, cover a blanket with situations I'm not sure of. What I'd say is, to be safe, just go for all of them but Amazon. And then maybe if you have white labeled some stuff or something like that, then obviously Amazon's great. But generally speaking, all of these can be optimized and set up and then linked to Shopify, so all the data is connected. And really, I mean, if you're looking to go from, hey, we're doing 5 million a year, 4 million a year, 6 million a year, and we want to get to 10, 20 million a year, whoa, set these up. This is your jam. Because it's really going to allow you to increase your business and really access a whole nother market, and then also build a relationship with some of the biggest brands in the U.S., maybe in the world. So I just wanted to add on this section to the fast track. I just felt like these are some additional tips here, additional revenue streams and additional marketplaces to sell on that I've seen a lot of my clients and myself get major success in. So don't sleep on some of these third-party and some of these additional revenue streams. I've seen people, like just on this warranty one, I've seen people add an additional 3 to 5% to their bottom line. Just because like the route, I think they used route and their basic fee is like 2% or something, and they made it 5%. So that whatever the purchase price was, the warranty was 5%, and then that person's margin was 3%. So, people buy it because you buy a $4,000 item. What's an additional $40, $50 to get you a 2-year warranty on it, right? And they replace it, all that good stuff. A route is also for shipping insurance, I think. So you have to double check on them. I don't use route personally. I use CPS. I find them a little better. But study both of them and see which one works for you. Again, I'm so pumped that you completed this portion of the fast track. Now you're going to be jumping into the business credit training workshop. If your mind has not been blown, I don't know how it couldn't be, but if your mind is not blown up to this point, for sure the credit training workshop is going to go ahead and blow the cap off, and you're really going to be shocked to see what's available to you, even without you realizing it at the moment. So go ahead and hop into that. And make sure you book our consulting call, as I said earlier, so we can go ahead and get some quick wins and get you well on your way. Thanks again, and talk soon.